Hey friends, today I'm doing something a little bit different and I'm doing a sort of a build challenge, I guess, but you know, every room is based on a different crystal, inspired by the new Crystal Creation stuff pack. So yeah, I thought this would be kind of fun, though I will say I did debate making this video for quite a while, just with how kind of awful the launch of this pack was. Between the kind of, you know, preliminary update having a bunch of bugs and then adding in that ridiculous shopping cart icon. You know, if you're playing on a PC and you can download mods, I would highly recommend getting a mod to get rid of that, because that's ridiculous. I can't believe that they added that to the game. But yeah, so you won't see it in mine, thankfully. But I did end up breaking down and buying the pack, just because I thought this would be a pretty fun build to do. And I think, you know, the idea of the stuff pack is pretty good, even if some of the, you know, rollout wasn't that great. But yeah, so I decided to do this here in Henford on Bagley, the world that came with cottage living. Yeah, I don't know, I just thought it would fit in pretty well. You know, it's sort of, I don't know, it kind of gives me cottagey vibes. Something about crystals and maybe a little bit of like witchiness too. So yeah, definitely could have done it in Glimmerbrook. I did look at building in that world, the one that came with Realm of Magic. But I don't know, the lighting in that world is kind of weird. I guess the lighting's kind of weird in Henford on Bagley too. It's like all very green. But that actually worked out fairly well for this one, actually. But yeah, so for all of the different main rooms, they're all based on different crystals. The only rooms that aren't based on a crystal are the bathrooms and like the two kind of hallway areas. I didn't think there would be really enough like items or really enough to do with those, so I didn't base those rooms off of crystals. So the shell of the build and kind of the more, I guess, like the hallways and the rooms that aren't themed around a crystal, they are very much cottage living inspired. So, you know, very kind of cottagey. They got like the hardwood floors and all of that. But yeah, so then the rooms with the crystals, they're based kind of partly on the color of the crystal, but also its effects in the game. I thought that would be kind of a fun way to tie in some of the crystal elements, I guess, some of the effects that they have. And of course, it's mostly if you've turned the crystal into jewelry, or if you're using the, what's it called? Like the Cordelia Crown, I think is what it's called, from Get Famous. You can like mount crystals in that and they give you like different game effects, which I'd kind of forgotten existed. I don't know if I've ever actually used that item, but yeah, so here in the main living room, you know, it's got this sort of light blue. This one is for Moonstone, which has quite a few different effects in the game. If your sim has any board moodlets, they'll vanish 10 times faster. So I wanted this room to have a lot of like really fun activities. So there's like the card table, chess table, although actually the chess table will move, but there's like a dartboard, you know, TV, video game console, all of that. So tons of fun activities in that room. And there's also some other benefits like werewolves, fury decay is faster, rampage decay is faster. Spellcasters get some benefits. I didn't really incorporate much of that stuff in the room. It didn't really fit that well. But there are a couple of nods to werewolves. There's like the moon-shaped mirror shelf item that came with the werewolves pack and a poster, I think. So yeah, a couple of nods there. And then I did this sort of office workspace area. This one has a lot of different items from the new Crystal Creations pack. So it's got, you know, the workstation, it's got the desk, the bookshelf, a lot of the wall art, that really great lamp. And this room is based off of Sapphire, which will level up any focused skills like faster. So I thought that would work really well in an office space. And I did move the chess table over to this room just since Playing chess is kind of a focused activity. And you can kind of see I moved in a keyboard and a guitar in the living room, which I thought, would work out well. Pretty fun activities. Plus the guitar is, another nod to the werewolf pack. I used the one from that one. So yeah. And then here in this hallway, it's a little bit more kind of cottage themed, though it does have kind of a mix of different pack furniture. So like the green and wood chair, that's actually from the For Rent pack. I thought that worked out really well in here. That desk is from Werewolves, I believe, and like a little, I think it's called a secretary's desk. So yeah, and I didn't use a chair that they would actually be able to use the desk at, but they did actually use that chair just to like sit and just use. When the welcome wagon came over and there's fruitcake, they just like sat in the chair and ate their fruitcake there, which was kind of funny. So yeah, I mean, they might actually use that. And I did this sort of covered entryway for this house, and really the shell of the house is based off of the like fake houses in the world of Henford on Bagley. So I modified this bump out a little bit to be kind of like a covered entry porch. And yeah, just put in, a bench and some like shoe racks and stuff, and that worked out pretty well there. And then here in the kitchen, this room is based off of amber, which has the effects of bringing sunny weather. So this one could have been pretty good for, outdoor use as well, or for, kind of modeling the exterior after. But I went with the kitchen because I wanted to do this sort of modern extension on this house, which is very common in these kind of UK houses. And I thought, having this like fully upgraded kitchen with these kind of yellow and lots of reds and oranges. I know amber's a bit more orange kind of in general, but there aren't a ton of great orange kitchens in my opinion. So I went with yellow and red. And some other orange accents. I thought that worked out a little bit nicer. And yeah, for the kind of extension part, I did it kind of like as a sunroof, or like a sunroom. So it's got the glass ceiling, kind of like a greenhouse. I put a ton of different plants in here. I thought that would be, I thought that'd be kind of fun, especially with the kind of sunny weather that this is supposed to bring. I wanted to feel very light and bright and all of that. And I did put in a couple of these vertical planters. I thought that would be really nice to have some actual, protected gardening space if you wanted to plant some herbs or whatever. So yeah, I got those in there, and yeah, used just a ton of different plants kind of throughout. And since this has a, just a glass roof, I put in these beams just to make it, slightly more realistic, that any of the hanging plants, and then later on I'll do the I'll do the lighting at the end, but they'll have some different lights that are kind of attached to those beams. I thought that would make a little bit more sense. And yeah, this table that I originally started out with, I really liked it, but it was pretty big and it was just taking up quite a bit of space. So just swapped it out for the smaller version of it, and I think that worked out quite a bit better. And I did most of the furnishing for this room with it set to night, just because, as you can see, with it during the daytime, with all these like windows and everything, it was pretty washed out. It was kind of hard to see the details. So yeah, switching it to nighttime worked quite a bit better for furnishing this room. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of this room. I really like the kitchen. It's very bright and colorful, and quite a bit different from the rest of the house, I would say, at least as far as it being, a lot more modern than everything else. And one little detail that I left in there is I kept the kind of what would have originally been the exterior wall with the brick pattern. I thought that was kind of a fun nod. There's also the window I left in there. I thought that was kind of fun. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And then yeah, here upstairs, working on this first bedroom, and this one is based off of turquoise, that crystal, which in the game it can help Sims gain charisma faster, and they'll have more success doing friendly socials. So I imagine that whoever lives in this room. They are an aspiring actor or a musician, maybe both. So I've got the, definitely have a mirror in there so they can practice acting. There's the microphone, a guitar, all of that. And obviously it's all very blue, which, I thought made sense for it to be turquoise. And I went with a couple of, slightly more industrial furniture pieces, like the bed and the nightstand and the wardrobe, which I thought, I don't know, kind of suited this room fairly well. That's probably one of my favorite beds in the game. I don't know, I just really like it. I think especially the bedding, it looks the most just normal from compared to a lot of the other furniture, a lot of the other beds in the game. Some of them are just real wacky. But yeah, so here in this other bedroom, and as you've probably noticed, I've been editing a little bit differently. So I've, pulled out everything and then I'm just kind of going through and rearranging. And I thought that worked out fairly well for this one. A lot of these rooms I did struggle with quite a bit. Like for this one's based off of Amethyst, which you can kind of see in the hallway. It recharges energy faster. So I ended up going with this kind of more bohemian sort of look and feel. I originally started doing almost like a dark purple, and I tried to go in that route, but there's not a lot of great purple items in the game. So yeah, it didn't really work out that well, but I really liked how that room turned out. I think that might be my favorite room in the house. And then the last bedroom that I just did, that one was pretty quick. Probably should have maybe slowed that one down a little bit. But that one is based off of Ruby, and that one you will have more success with Woohoo. Your Sims won't get embarrassed from a poor performance, if you will. So yeah, I really struggled with that room. That one took quite a while. I started doing like with red walls, and I don't know, the reds in the game just, I don't know. I didn't love any of them, so I went with more of a black theme and then with red accents, and I think that worked quite a bit better in that room. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. And then for this fourth room, instead of doing another bedroom, for hematite, which is the crystal for this room, I decided to do more of a home gym with this one, since hematite is supposed to, well, in the game, the sim will be immortal if they have it crafted into jewelry. And I wasn't really sure what to do with that. So I decided to do a gym, since the kind of real world, benefits of this crystal are to be supposed to help like protect you and like improve your health, things like that. So yeah, I don't know. I thought a gym might work fairly well for this. You'll have to let me know what you think about that one. I was a little unsure about how to go about kind of crafting a room around hematite. But yeah, and then here in this kind of landing, keep it fairly simple. I did some bookshelves. I used that new couch from the stuff pack, which I really liked. I just wish that they would give us more. I just always want more items, especially when they only give us like one random couch or like a random chair. It'd be nice to have at least like one or two other pieces that kind of coordinate with it. So it'd be great if there was like a matching 3-seater sofa or a matching chair. That would have been really nice, but yeah, I don't know. I do like the couch though. It's it's pretty nice. And then for the exterior of the build, I used jade as kind of the inspiration for this one, just since that one, when it's equipped, will help increase the chances of finding more crystals. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it felt like it should be outside, and it's green, and outside is mostly green. So, maybe not the most clever use of that crystal, but here we are. So yeah, a lot of green. I use a lot of other colored plants as well. I thought it would be a little bit boring if everything was literally just green. But yeah, overall, you know, it is very lush and green and all of that. So, but yeah, I wanted it to fit into the world pretty well. So, of course, used a lot of different plants that came with cottage living, like the wisteria. I used some of the kind of crawling vines on the side of the build, which, you know, I thought looked nice. A lot of the trees that came with the world. But yeah, I think I really like the landscaping turned out. It's fairly simple. I didn't go, you know, too overboard with it, I feel. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of the landscaping on this one. And I have to say, I really like how that modern extension looks on the build. I think it turned out really nice. You know, of course, everything's green, including the wallpapers that I used. I went with that kind of more modern wood slat look for the extension. So, you know, it ties in with the colors, but obviously it's a much different style than the rest of the build, which I guess is very common in the UK. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that there's like some sort of law where if you put some sort of extension on a house that is like very historic looking, the extension has to be a completely different style, so that people don't try to like match it in and it ends up just looking worse. Which, if that's true, that's very interesting. I kind of like that, actually. But yeah, you'll have to let me know if you ended up buying this pack. I don't know if I can recommend it per se, at least with all the bugs that I've seen. You know, I don't do a ton of actual gameplay anymore, other than when I'm like testing the builds. So I haven't done like a full, you know, playthrough or anything of the new features. I did, you know, mess around a little bit with crafting jewelry while I was, you know, recording things and testing out stuff. So it seemed to work fine for me, but, you know, of course, I don't know. You know, everyone's experience might be a little bit different. So yeah, I don't know if I can necessarily recommend it, but I do like the build items that it came with. I thought those were pretty nice. Yeah, and in the back here, I added in the crystal charging pad. I wanted to make that have its own little area. Added in, you know, I put in a grill and a table and a telescope, since you know, crystals are very connected to the moon and all of that. So I wanted to make sure I had a telescope as well. I thought that would make sense. And, you know, I did all this really lovely terrain paint, and then of course when I came back and reloaded the lot, all the terrain paint was gone, so I had to redo that, so that was fun. But yeah, the house is available on the gallery if you'd like to download it with the terrain paint, so it should be in there for you. But yeah, I think, you know, this would be a pretty good house for a larger family. You could have at least 4 bedrooms, possibly 5 if you wanted to turn that office space into one. But yeah, pretty good size house for sure. And I think this was on the is this a 30 by 20 lot in Henford-on-Bagley? It's like in like near like the town square area. I thought this was a pretty good lot to build on. And I ended up testing this house with a kind of updated version of the BFF household that I had done a long time ago. And they're also available on the gallery if you want to download them. I'll try to remember to put up some pictures of them, like the gallery listing here, if you wanted to take a look. But yeah, I kind of updated their outfits and all of that back when I redid their house. Gosh, that was a while ago. I'll link that video too if you want to check it out. I kind of liked how that one turned out. That was just like a base game update that I did. And now I'm just kind of finishing up with all of the lighting around the lot. For this bedroom, you know, I wanted it to be a little bit more romantic, so I did more candles. I also struggled to find some sort of table thing to put at the end of the bed to put more candles on. So yeah, I think I ended up using like a TV stand thing, which was okay. But yeah, not a lot of great options for that, kind of surprisingly. So that took a little while, and I ended up having to use the tool mod for this and one other thing throughout the build, which I don't love to do, but it was just not fitting there correctly. But yeah, that is gonna do it for me, and then I will leave you with a video tour. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. That helps a lot. and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much. Have a great day.